Hello folks, welcome to Outdoors with Bud. I'm your host, Bud Fields. Got another question asked of me, and it's something that I had discussed, I think maybe before, but apparently we need to discuss it again. People is wanting to know, like, well, they read on Facebook or some of the different social medias and websites for hunting. What deer should I shoot? I mean, people say that deer's not big enough, or that that needs another year to grow, or that needs 2 years to grow. How do I know? Like, I'm a first-time hunter. How do I know what deer to shoot? Well, folks, I'm going to be quite honest with you. You're the only person that needs to be satisfied. You work for everything that you're getting. You got to pay for you got to buy your own license. You got to buy your equipment. You got to spend time in the woods scouting it to have a good chance to shoot a deer. Not every place that you're going to hunt is going to have the Boone and Crockett bucks. I mean, like the 150s, 160s, 180s, and 200s that you see on television. Some of these people own properties in multiple states, and they can't be there every day, but they've got people that scouts the areas for them. They got people that runs trail cameras for them, and all they got to do is when the time comes, they go up there. Now, also, depending on your area, not every area is going to have the big bucks. Some areas are going to be predominantly does and fawns. Now, there's going to be bucks around, but the time you're going to see those bucks mainly is like during the rut, which in Indiana is normally the last week or so in October into November. And a doe, when she comes in heat, if she's not bred during that first cycle, she will come in for another cycle, which is only just a few days. But I've had guys tell me, how many years have you been hunting? I said, well, like it's been 61 years. Do you shoot a doe? Yes, I do. I like to shoot a doe. What I like to do, and now it don't only work this way, is I like during the archery season to shoot a mature doe and then maybe save my buck tag for during the firearms and muzzleloader season. Now, it don't always work that way. For instance, this year, opening day of the bow season, I shot a big doe. She was a big, fat, mature doe. I shot her. Now, shooting a doe opening day, there's nothing wrong with that. I will probably get crucified by some people watching this. Well, why did you shoot a doe on opening day? I've always said for years, the best thing to do is take the first high percentage shot that is offered to you. This doe come in, I seen other deer during the morning. There were 4 deer in this group. She was the largest deer. She come in, offered me a high percentage, what I considered the high percentage shot. I shot her. She went down the ravine, up the hill on the other side, and I heard her crash. And I thought, well, okay, at least I got a deer for the freezer. Now, I got down out of the tree at 9 o'clock. I'd seen 7 deer. Usually on opening day, I might not even see a deer. But I will never chastise you or your neighbor or anybody like that. If even in archery, it's legal to shoot a fawn if you want to. I have never shot a fawn, because they're so little, you're not going to get hardly any meat out of it. And I've always told folks jokingly, if I wanted a quarter pounder, I'd go to McDonald's and buy one. That way I don't have to carry it out of the woods. But in Indiana, it's legal to shoot a buck, doe, or a fawn. Now, I've got some limitations that I put on myself. I will not shoot a fawn. I will not shoot a doe that's got fawns with her. Like, by opening day of bow season in October, most of the fawns are out of spots. Now, some of them, the spots will fade, but I've had some of them that come by me that were so little that they wasn't much bigger than our little dog. But once again, that's perfectly legal, if that's what you want to shoot. Now, I'm retired. I can hunt every day if I want. I don't, but I can. I might be hunting in an area that's predominantly does. A doe is good eating, very good eating. And I'm not trying to encourage you to shoot a fawn, but a fawn, even though you're not going to get much meat, is going to be very tender meat. A buck is pretty good eating too. And you can shoot a buck. Now, I've shot bucks before that. I've got some mounted that's pretty respectable on the wall. I've got some that was not very big, but I'm basically like, I look to fill my freezer. I've said you cannot eat antlers. If a big buck comes walking by me, buddy, that's fantastic. But I do not set my goal as saying, okay, I'm going to go out here, I'm going to wait for this 12-point buck. This year, I did make a mistake. I shot that doe on opening morning. I get what they call a bundle tag, bundle license. I can shoot one buck and I can shoot 2 does. Now this is during all of the seasons. I can take them during the bow season, the rifle season, or the firearm season, or the muzzleloader. But I can get 3 deer. I shot my doe opening morning. I had a doctor's appointment the second day. I didn't get to go. I had other things going on. I think I went back on the 5th or the 6th. I climbed up in another one of my tree stands just to see what's going on. My trail cameras showed me all summer that there were a lot of deer moving. A lot of leaves on the trees, and I'm up in this tree and I'm looking down. I see this deer come out. I see antlers. Now, I cannot see all the deer's head and all the points on the antlers. The deer come up close to me within 18 yards. I turn sideways and I look down and I can see this great big body. I know this is a nice sized deer. But like I said, I cannot see antlers. I decide, okay, that's a nice deer, that's a nice sized body. I shoot it, all right? That deer takes off running. It fell, it got back up, and I seen it drop. I get down out of a tree and I walk down there, and it was a nice old buck. The antlers were not nothing to brag about. When I checked the teeth on that deer, now they have no teeth on the top, and they usually got rows of teeth on the bottom. This deer was so old it only had 3 teeth, and those teeth were almost wore down to the gum. I mean, that was an old-time deer. I thought maybe I'd done that deer a favor. I mean, he was on his last leg, so to speak. Okay, now I'm down to doe tag. I got 1 doe tag. And this is still the first early part of October. I don't want to shoot that other tag and put it on a doe because I'm wanting to hunt with my grandsons during the gun season. So I quit going up there. I'm going nuts sitting here at the house. My buddies, my grandsons are telling me, sending me pictures of the deer that they're shooting in some of the areas. And I'm ready to get out there for some tree stand therapy. So I go back up. I'm sitting there, and I told my wife and I told a couple other people, I said, maybe I should not have shot that buck. Maybe I should not have listened to myself about shooting the first high percentage shot that's available. But that was the way I kind of started hunting, and I'm kind of hardcore on it. I'm sitting up there in my tree stand shortly after daylight, opening day of the gun season. I got a 6 or 7 point buck that comes by. I thought, well, I'm going to let that one go. Of course, I can't shoot it anyway because I've already filled my buck tag. A little bit later, I have all these does come in. There's 5 of them. I'm looking to see if I can find a big doe. I'm thinking, this is opening day. I've still got several weeks of firearm season, plus the muzzleloader season comes in after that. Do I want to shoot a deer right now? Why not? I mean, that's the reason I drive up there. And the price of gas, you're wasting money, so to say. So I'm sitting up there, and a few minutes later, I hear something. I look over at my left, and here comes Bubba Buck. Folks, this was one of the biggest bucks that I've ever seen. And I think I've been up there at this place, I don't know, 12, 13, or 14 years. This buck come in wide open. I'm sitting up there saying a few things to myself that I will not repeat on camera because this is a family show. This buck comes in broadside, antlers about this high. He's got 5 beautiful points on each side, and they're all tall tines. The brow tines that sticks up in the front were probably that high and massive. A lot of the bucks that you see, maybe their antlers a little bit bigger than the diameter of my fingers. This buck was huge from the base all the way out. When he walked away from me, his antlers were sticking way out beside his sides. I'm sitting there, And if there was any way possible for me to resuscitate that buck that I killed during the bow season, I would have done it. But I sat there and I watched that buck walk away. And if I probably had done the right thing, because if I would have shot that buck, I would have probably put another nail in the wall of my den. I'd have probably got in trouble with my wife because I would have wanted to mount that deer. And I probably saved $800 by letting that deer walk away, whatever the price of taxidermy. But nobody has got the right to tell you what size animal to shoot. It's your money, you worked for it, you shoot what you're happy with. Now there's people say don't shoot on the last day of the season what you would pass up on opening day. But if you're wanting meat for the table, I would say let your conscience be your guide. You got to prove it to yourself what you want. You don't have to please me, you don't have to please your neighbors or any of the people that you work with. It's your choice, it's your deer, it's your choice. A lot of guys will pass up a deer, then after the hunting season's over, they still got their tag. They're thinking, maybe I should not have passed those deer up. It's a tough choice. Even after all the years I've been hunting, it's still a tough choice. Do I regret shooting any of the deer in the past? Absolutely not, because a deer to me looks good in the freezer or on the skillet or on my plate. Don't let anybody tell you that deer needs another year. It's perfectly legal to take whatever you want, as long as it's legal and ethical. I say go for it, but it's your choice. So, hey, thanks for letting me come into your home tonight, folks, and sharing this information. I hope I don't offend anybody, but it's your decision. You make up your mind, because you're the person that's got to be happy, not trying to please me. So thanks a lot. We'll see you in the woods. Good luck hunting. God bless you.